I've ever had, but also one of the most difficult ones. We have some really big features in there. One of them is the start here. It's a pretty big drop and there is no way around. You just have to commit right out of the gate. The faster you go, the better it is, and you cannot go slow, otherwise you will not make it over there. All the other obstacles, I will explain them further down there. Some general facts about the track. You see like 120,000 frozen liters of water, which is 40,000 gallons, more or less. There's around 40,000 screws in the boards that all have to be taken down again after the race. We started with the track construction around 4 weeks ago with 40 men on site, and during the event there's 200 guys working. And the warm weather is not actually a real problem for us because we have a pretty strong cooling system, and in fact actually it helps the ice quality if the weather is warm. Because if it was too cold, the ice gets really hard and it breaks, and we have a lot of holes in the landing zones. While today, when it's that warm, the ice is elastic and it doesn't break where the guys land. So it actually helps us. And in an extreme case like today, when you have that water film on top of the ice, that makes it super fast, and it also means that when you crash, you don't lose any speed. So a crash doesn't necessarily mean you will lose a position. You just have to make sure you're back on your skates before you hit the wall, right? Which is not that easy. After the race we can switch the cooling system to a heating system, which means tomorrow morning should be no more ice on the track.
Hey, Tim.
So you mean that when it's soft like this, the speed is higher than on the very hard ice,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Because that water film on top of the ice makes it super fast.
And who is the designer of this course?
That's Chris Papillon, the technical director, the
Is he
sports
here
director.
now?
Yeah, he's here. Yeah.
Okay, and it's the first time there is such high hill at the end of the course. It's first time in St. Paul. There were no such high hills, and many athletes have a problem getting on top, and many of them couldn't finish because of it. Was it done deliberately to reduce the number of participants this way or not?
That wasn't on purpose, but we are rising the bar with each track, and this is definitely one of the obstacle you're talking about is at the finish, and yes, this is definitely one of the hardest ones we've had, but if you don't mess up before it, and I'll explain it further down, it is actually no problem to get over it. How long is it? 1,200 feet.
You said it takes 4 weeks to build. How long does it take to tear it down?
A couple of days.
Alright.
Alright, so we'll join the group and go to the next point. Wondering why we do have the plastic, so I was lying a little bit because the temperatures actually don't matter, but the sunlight does. So we had to cover the track with that plastic because the direct sunlight does melt down the ice. So as soon as the shade is back out, they'll take off the plastic and we'll start spraying and working on the ice. I'll tell you a bit more about the background of the sport. So it all started in 2001 in Sweden. Obviously we didn't have a cooling system back then. It was the first try, and so the whole track was built with ice from a fish market. And it really developed since it has become a world championship in 2010. Up until then it was a good fun sport, which it still is, but it has become a really serious training as well. When the Austrians, Marco and Luca Dalago, came in a couple of years back, they really took it to a level where they analyzed the whole season, just like their national ski team. They analyzed every video from the whole season. They built their own start box at home. They've tried different ways of how to get out of the gate and went into every single detail, and pretty much they smoked everybody for one season. And so the Canadians and the Americans have realized that, so they went the same way, trained really hard, which is why today we're gonna see the battle between an American and a Canadian for the World Championship title. And yeah, some of them, obviously it's not only about training, it's also about equipment. So guys have started not to use full hockey gear anymore, so they try to downsize all the protection, because obviously you want to be fast out of the gate, and the lighter you are, the faster you are out of the gate. Obviously you do take some compromises on safety there, so it's gonna hurt a little more if you crash with less protection. But yeah, that's what you gotta do if you want to win. Sorry. If you see guys with holes in their socks, that actually has a reason. They cut the holes in there, so if they fall on their knees, they're on plastic and not on fabric, and the plastic obviously slides faster on the ice. So it's all about not losing any speed even if you crash, because some crashes are not avoidable, and you just have to make sure to get back up soon before you go into the boards, and normally you don't really lose a position then. We'll go to the next spot. If you have questions, just go for it.
Right. Have you ever crashed on one of your first runs?
Yes, I have. It's probably the spot where you're gonna see the most action tonight. A lot of guys won't make it over that wall. The problem is not actually the wall, but you do need a lot of speed for it, otherwise you will not make it over. And with those two obstacles coming here, if you do struggle on them, you will not have enough speed to get over this. And when you come into these obstacles, this is called the Dino Bridge, you will have a lot more speed than you actually want to have, because you would actually prefer not to be that fast into those rollers, but obviously you're in a race and you have 3 guys chasing you, so you will have to try to get through there. But if you do mess it up and if you crash there, you will not make it up this wall anymore. So this is certainly an interesting spot to watch. I don't have much more to say, so if you don't have any questions...
I have a question.
Yeah?
Do you think it's right that women compete in the same conditions with men, same obstacles, same height? Like, for example, in track and field athletics, the hurdles are lower for women. And how about this sport?
Yeah, I mean, the level of the women has gone up a lot. So many of the women are almost at the same level as the guys, and those who are not, they didn't make it over this wall, and this is why they're not in the finals.
And where do these athletes usually train? I know there are some countries and some cities, like probably in Finland or somewhere else, where there is a permanent course.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Well, we do have a couple of permanent tracks. 2 are in Finland, and it depends. Every season they're somewhere else. But we build a lot of pump tracks, which are actually mountain bike facilities out of asphalt, and a lot of the guys use those on their inline skates to train during the summer.
But inline skates aren't compatible at all.
Sorry?
The inline skates can't be compared with ice skates.
Yeah, inline skates are quite close to the ice skates. It's a good summer training. Obviously, it's not exactly the same, but training on inline skates in a skate park or on a pump track really helps a lot.
And do you think the sport will ever become Olympic?
The Olympic question, yeah. This is actually why we founded the federation, the ATXSX, the All-Terrain Skate Cross Association. It is going to be a long way to be an Olympic sport. They have all kinds of rules how a sport can become Olympic. I wouldn't say it's impossible, because if you look at how many people do bobsleigh or ski jumps, they are way less than those who compete at the crash ice. So if you look at it that way, it's absolutely not impossible that the sport becomes Olympic in the future.
And what is your favorite sport? You are engaged in several. You do this very well. You do this sport very well, and some others. What is your favorite?
Mine is mountain biking for sure. But this is a good version of it in the winter. All right. Thanks for coming and enjoy the evening.
Yeah, thank you.